Hey everyone, welcome back. Before we get started in this one, I just want to say thank you so much for the support recently. It really means a lot to be receiving so many likes on the videos, which certainly helps me out knowing you're enjoying the videos and spending all these hours making them is turning out to be worthwhile, so thank you again. Alright, in this video we are going to be taking a closer look at some more animations and secrets from some of the remaining parts of Resident Evil 2 Remake, including the lab scene and the last animation from the B scenarios in the desert. First off, I'm going to start with taking a look at the sewer section because there is nothing really to see outside the map, as it's all based inside a black void, so it's very easy and quick to show. However, there is a couple of things I did want to take a closer look at whilst we're down here. One of them being, where does the giant alligator come from? And this was also requested by a viewer, so here it is. Now it is pretty dark down here in the sewers, even with the brightness turned up, so I hope you can see this monster hiding just under the map. In the next episode, I'll be trying to show you more about where the characters come from and disappear to during the animations and cutscenes, but for now, here's where Mr. X spawns in during Ada's gameplay, and also a quick look from some alternative unseen angles of some of the other animations that happen during this section of the game.
Bravo. Gonna burn me alive now?
You'll never get your filthy hands on the G.
I'm not...
Enough with this cat and mouse game.
The game is over.
You lost.
Tell me, is your husband still alive? Or did you kill him so you could take credit for G?
Interesting theory.
If you don't cooperate, I'll get a sample from the nest.
Over my dead body.
Alright, so next up it was time to take the train and head down into Nest, but I just wanted to take a look at what was way down at the bottom of the tunnel before we go, and when I finally got to the bottom of the tunnel I was fairly surprised at just how far down the tunnel stretches, because the developers could have quite easily cut this off with a dark texture or fog, but check it out. Coming out from the bottom of the tunnel, we are that far away we can no longer see the platform from where the train sets off. Not only that, but outside the tunnel we can also find a replica train, and this is where my problems began, because I wanted to show you how this scene works and how I believe the characters change during the animation from one train and tunnel to another. However, after hours of trying to film this, I had to give up, as no matter what I did, I couldn't get the camera to stay on the train as the animation began, so all as I could do was capture these little snippets.
Trust me?
I thought I might need your help, and I was right.
Ada, you say it yourself. It's a federal case.
Hugely sorry for that technical failure guys, but there was nothing I could do about it. The good news is we can see the whole of the Ada falling scene. Let's take a look.
I was just thinking about you.
That makes two of us. I was getting worried.
No, we make a good team. I gotta ask you something.
Way's clear. Please, tell me you got it.
Oh, I got it.
Let me verify the G sample and we get the hell out of here.
Before we do that, I ran into Annette. She claims you're not FBI.
Oh, Leon. Why couldn't you just hand over the sample?
As I realized, as much as I wanted to trust you, I didn't.
I really hoped it wouldn't end up like this.
So that's all this was. I was just some pawn to you,
Look, I'm just doing my job.
and I'm doing mine, so drop that damn gun! I'm taking you in.
Hand over the sample, Leon. I don't want to hurt you.
And you shoot me. But I don't think you can.
No one gets that sample now.
Hold on. I think I can.
Forget it.
Shut up, I've got you.
It's not worth it.
Don't do this.
Take care of yourself, Leon.
No!
So, at the end of Leon's scenario, we fight the big bad mutated tyrant, and it's all based on this lift. Now, at first, the lift is in what I'll call the original lift shaft. However, once we attach the joint plug and the lift starts to move, we are now in a secondary lift shaft. Kinda like what I was trying to explain about the train previously. And if you saw my Tekken 7 video, you'll have a good idea of how this works. For those who haven't seen that video, basically it's not the lift that moves, it's the lift shaft itself, and once it gets to a certain point, it disappears and then reloads at the bottom to make a continuous loop. Very clever stuff. Then as we get the rocket launcher to destroy the tyrant, after the short animation, we come back to the original lift shaft, which is located just beside the secondary.
have arrived at the bottom level.
Coming towards the end now, one of the things I didn't realise when I was playing the game normally for the first time was there is another train carriage right at the back of the train that we never get to enter or even see, and that's practically because G5 swallows the whole thing when it appears. Now I will show more of G5 in the next video when we take a closer look at the characters and where they come from. But again, here is a great example of how the scenery moves instead of the objects that the characters are stood on. In this case, we can see part of the map over in the distance, and that part of the map is where Leon jumps onto the train, and this can be used as a good reference point to see that the train is stationary. We are at the last animation, and it was one that I think many of you wanted to see more of, which is good because it was pretty interesting to take a look at for a couple of reasons. First of all, if we go over and take a look in the direction that the truck heads to, we can find the huge long tunnel that the train was inside of in the previous clip, and it's just over there out of bounds.
He was friendly.
So, is it over?
In this scene, we can see the end of the tunnel and the train in the background, so then by looking in the opposite direction, if I take the camera backwards and underneath the map, we can find not one, but two duplicate sections of the same map with the tunnels included, which is just bizarre, and I'm not entirely sure why these hidden maps are under here, because as far as I can tell, this whole scene takes place on just the one map we see if we watch the animation normally. But it doesn't end just yet, because after doing some more investigating, I also found a fourth map hidden way further than we'd ever get to see, because of the draw distance and the original camera positions during the animation. As you can see, the mountains are loading up in the distance, and again it's hidden down below. Pretty crazy stuff, but I do know a few of you guys who watch the show are into your game design, so I'd love to hear why you think these might be hidden here. Let us know in the comments. However, that is it for another episode. Like I said, in the next one I'll hopefully be able to show you where Mr. X goes when he's not in sight and look at how the characters appear in the animations. But until then, as always, take care.